It's autumn! Is my false enthusiasm coming through? I am not interested in autumn. I like autumn. It's just I don't like what comes after it. And I would just rather have it be summer all the time. So, you know, this time of year, there's just little jobs to be done everywhere. I haven't even really thought about garden cleanup yet. We are way far away from that here. Although that happens basically overnight when you're sort of ready for that. But we have a few jobs to do today. I thought I'd bring you along to do those, and the first one is quite unpleasant. See this little guy sticking up through the steps here? These are the kind of taller set of steps on the back side or on the side of our deck. That little guy belongs to this big guy. This is the Aurelia silver umbrella. I talk about this plant all the time because it is a fabulous plant. It's also kind of like a white whale. Seems to be nearly impossible to find, so my apologies on that. It is looking really beautiful right now. The flowers are done, but they kind of turn this pink color, so it's sort of frosted with pink right now. It's all good, but as I've discussed before with this plant, this is a grafted plant. That's why it's difficult to find. It is grafted onto regular Aurelia stock of some kind, rootstock, which means that stuff is also known as devil's walking stick, which means while this is quite a nice, beautiful variegated plant that has, you know, tiny little spines on the branches and stems here, you wouldn't want to like grab this full-handed or anything. The other one has a million. It's far more vigorous, and it has tons of tiny little spiny things on it. And it's very important that we cut those out because those will be more vigorous. This is how it works with variegated plants. The green ones will be far more vigorous than the variegated ones, and you can risk weakening your plant or losing the variegated part altogether. So about twice a year I go looking for these suckers that pop up from the roots. And unfortunately, this one is underneath the deck. Let me be clear in my dislike of the idea of this. I don't go under there. It seems like the kind of place where things that I don't want to run into might decide to hang out. This little secret panel is how we get under there. Any animals underneath there, move out quickly. In case you were curious, if there is a reptile under here, the slithery kind, I will just die. So these will be my last words to the world before I die, because if there's one of those under there, I will fully have a heart attack. Do you see this guy? This is way over here. This is probably 15, 20 feet from that. So, holy smokes, what's happening with those roots? And also, yikes. So the trick with cutting these off is just cut below the soil. Usually they don't come back if you just cut. Same goes for any sort of sucker. Oh man, these are some too. Ooh, this is a really, I didn't realize there were so many of these underneath here. A little bit of a forest of them under here. I did not know how many of those suckers were going to be under there. Good thing I went. Let's hope I don't have to do that again. It was not nearly as creepy as I was expecting it to be. Thank God. I did want to do it when it was quite sunny out though, so that I didn't have to be down there when it was dark. Ugh. I have some new plants to put in. I was not planning on buying new plants, but then I went on a trip and looked at gardens, and then I needed new plants. So I have 3. I got these from Plants Delight online. These are not super special plants, so I probably could have gotten them somewhere cheaper, but I couldn't find them anywhere right now, so that is what it is. These are hardy begonias. Now, I bought the 3 hardiest ones they sold at Plants Delight. These are supposed to be hardy to 5A. These hardy begonias were growing in every single garden I went to in Philadelphia. I've seen them before in other gardens. I admire them every time. I really like them. Some people don't. I think they're great. I've never seen them in a garden here, which suggests to me they don't grow well here, but I wanted to give it a shot. So I bought 3 different ones. I'm going to plant these in 3 different locations and just give it a try and see how it goes. And these little guys are something else I've been kind of wanting for a while. So that is Helleborus fetidus, which is one of those really good botanical names. It is the stinking hellebore. For whatever reason, I can't seem to find this one in a lot of places here. It's not as showy of a hellebore as some of the new cultivars are. I do grow some, by the way. People always ask me why I don't grow hellebore, and I do. I have several, only a couple of which are sort of mature and are that showy. Many of them are kind of new, so they haven't bulked up yet here. I don't feel like they do as great here as I see them doing in other yards. But this stinking hellebore, that's my kind of plant. The foliage on it is gorgeous. The foliage looks very much like shredded umbrella plant. So I like that the foliage is pretty all year long. I don't find the foliage on other hellebores to be of any real note. The flowers on the stinking hellebore are quite sort of, they're much simpler than the fancy ones. They face down, but they're kind of chartreuse. I love a chartreuse flower. They don't stink. I think if you crush them or something, they stink, but they don't stink. So don't be afraid of the name. Here's the fun part. I found those on Facebook Marketplace. I don't find anything on Facebook Marketplace. In fact, our Facebook Marketplace pages seem to be mostly reserved for scamming people out of something. But I actually recognized who this gardener was. And she had a bunch of these for sale. So I ran up there and I got some from her. She said some of these were seedlings, some were divisions. She said they bulk up really quickly, which is what I'm hoping for. So I bought 5 of them, and 3 of them are gonna go right here, where you see these wretched hostas. First of all, these are hostas that were passed along plants, probably some of the first plants I ever had in my garden. Someone else gave them to me because they didn't like them. These are, I don't know what variety this is. It's the most basic sort of variegated one. I mean, they're all eaten up here, you can see. It's the most basic variegated one with just a little bit of white on the edges. The slugs always get it, as you can see. The deer eat this one first. There is almost no redeeming quality to this other than that it fills the space. So here's what we're doing. These guys are going away. This, did you see, by the way, how dry those hydrangeas are? It has been, I can't keep up with the watering. It is so dry here. My hope is to just get everything watered really, really well once more before we go into winter, but it's been impossible to keep up with the watering because it's so dry here. This is our little creek right here. And what I've discovered is that the deer walk right down it. So they pop up here and they eat the stuff that's along here. So I know the hydrangeas are not deer resistant, but I am trying to focus on more deer resistant plants in this area because it's clear they just walk right along here. So I'm not going to fight that anymore. These guys are going away. Hellebores are going in their place.
I like digging holes and hiding things inside them. When I grow old, I hope I won't forget to find them. 'Cause I've got memories and travel like gypsies in the night. I build a home and wait for someone to tear it down. Then pack it up in boxes, head for the next town running. 'Cause I've got memories and travel like gypsies I've got no roots, but my home was never.
I didn't really mean to plant them in a line here, but I did. We'll see how they do. I didn't want to get too close because if you see this right here, anybody remember when I planted a Mahonia because I lost a bet to Laura at Garden Answer? It was probably 4 years ago. That Mahonia is, I would say, smaller than it was when I planted it, but it looks healthier than I did when I planted it. Those two hostas over there need to go away too, but they were harder than I thought to dig out, and I'm not going to do it today. You might be wondering what I'm doing planting hellebores next to panicle hydrangeas that want a lot of sun. And that, my friends, is what we call part sun. These hellebores, I saw them planted actually in full sun. I think they're very adaptable. They'll be fine. This is not full sun. Actually, this is definitely part sun because on this side of me, there are some rather tall viburnums right here. And that's, these are shielded by that. But closer along that bank, there is quite a bit of sun, as you'll see, because Roy's garden is across the way there. Those are pretty much all sun lovers over there. So you can see that those guys are happy over there. So there's sun there, but this is definitely a part sun area, and this is one of those benefits of living in places where the sun doesn't get too hot. You can really blur the lines in terms of sun exposure for plants. I also have a big hole right here along this pathway, and I think I'm going to try one of the begonias right there to see how it does. I have, like I said, 3 of them. There are 3 different varieties. This is pink teardrops, Heron's Pirouette, that one's really pretty, and then this is a white one called Alba. I think we're going to do pink teardrops over here. So I put the white one right here. It's next to the bench here. I planted a whole bunch of primulas behind in this area. So this area is getting kind of special attention right now. And I think this is a nice little spot. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously those primulas and the begonia might not work together if everything grows really well, but that would be a great problem to have. These begonias want consistent moisture in good draining soil. Good draining soil, never an issue here in my garden. Quite the opposite, actually. But moisture is a problem because we have a lot of trees. So now I've moved over here, and because this is a little bit downhill here, so these plants get more moisture. So this will be a better fit. Look how sad this container looks. I'll be honest here, those sun patients didn't die because it frosted. They died because I haven't watered them for ages. There are lady ferns in here, which is what we're going to rescue. There are 3 of them in here. They probably aren't so happy either, so we're going to rescue those, plant those in the landscape because those are beautiful perennials. Everything else is shot. Sorry, plants. Oh. That one doesn't look so hot. I think we're going to do a nice little cluster right here. Okay, they need water. There's a theme developing here. I actually don't remember a fall as dry as this. I have to look at the weather and see if we've got any rain coming It seems to miss us all the time. Meanwhile, some of you I know are probably getting flooded right this moment, because that's how it goes these days. I will get the hose on these, probably set up a sprinkler, be much easier, and get on to other things. Come on, you want to go for a walk? Come on, let's go. The cooler weather always puts a little spring in the step of the dog. So Dorothy and I are off for a walk. I think we earned it. All right, till next time, get those garden jobs done.